This is ATN Global News. First, the headlines. Police begins probe on arson, killings. INEC denies obstruction, Beavers inspection, Tinubu. Tinubu congratulates Dr. Shinkafi Bagudu. FG unveils fuel to CNG conversion portal. Israel ramps up Gaza shelling. Arya Star backs for MTV Emma. Nominations, Charles Agada joins Watford. And now to the rest of our stories. Rivers State Police Command has commenced a full-scale investigation into the post-election violence that rocked several local government areas of the state, leading to the loss of life and the razing of 3 local government areas on Monday. The Commissioner of Police, Mustafa Mohammed, disclosed this while answering questions from journalists after an on-the-spot assessment of the 3 affected local government areas on Wednesday. Mohammed also revealed that a high-powered investigation team of seasoned police officers led by Deputy Commissioner of Police, State Criminal Investigation Department, has been assigned the task, adding that their report will be submitted to the IGP upon completion of their findings. ATM recalls violence broke out in many councils of the state after the Inspector General of Police ordered the secretariats of the 23 local government areas in the state to be unsealed. Mohammed stated that operatives of the command have already begun intensive patrols to build resident confidence and reassure them of their safety, pointing out that a series of measures are in place aimed at ensuring adequate security in the state. He, however, called for peace among stakeholders in the state and urged members of the public to collaborate with the police to ensure that peace is fully restored in the state. Analyst has reiterated that the police is an agency that is meant to maintain law and order, therefore cannot disobey orders of the court. Speaking on the Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, police school analyst Obinna Ikem opined that the police are neutral in all ramifications.
A judgment barring police from participating in the illegality which the governor wanted to perpetuate against Rivers people called a local government election. Election that did not follow the rules, election that did not follow the guideline, election that did not follow the Electoral Act, election that did not even follow the law that created RISEC in Rivers State. Is it an election that the police will participate in? The police stated the obvious that they are not going to participate in conformity with the Federal High Court order. Why will he want the police to come and defy or disobey the law of the land, disobey the Federal High Court order, the way he has been? He wants the police to join him in disobeying court orders, and that is what the police said. They said they will not be part of it, and the police, as long as we are concerned, as long as Rivers State Police Command is concerned, they are neutral in all ramifications. The police have been doing their best.
Mr. Ikim further tasked the new Commissioner of Police, Mustafa Mohammed, to remain focused and continue to protect the people of Rivers State.
Remain resolute and continue to protect the Rivers people and do what is right and what is legal. That is what we expect. We don't expect anything less from an institution that is created by.
Recall that the Nigerian police force on Friday described the outbursts of Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara against the Inspector General of Police Kayode Ibotukun as shocking and unwarranted. Independent National Electoral Commission in Edo has denied obstructing any political party from inspecting election materials and beavers machines used for the just concluded governorship election. In a statement in Benin on Wednesday, the resident electoral commissioner in the state, Dr. Anubum Onoha, said that the allegations of obstructing the inspection of materials were baseless, misleading, and devoid of the truth. ATR reports that the PDP and its candidate, Dr. Asue Igodalo, had accused INEC of not obeying a court order granting inspection of the election materials. Onoha explained that the commission in furtherance to its commitment had fixed Wednesday for the inspection of the materials at its headquarters in Benin. Onoha noted that the inspection of election materials was the fundamental right of all political parties involved in election petitions, adding that it was a process that INEC was mandated by law to facilitate. He explained that at no time did he or any official in his office obstruct or deny any political party or their representatives access to inspect the materials used in the last election. Away from that, 15 suspected internet fraudsters were on Monday arrested by operatives of the Benin Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Benin City. The commission said the suspects were arrested following actionable intelligence on their suspected involvement in computer-related fraud. EFCC disclosed this in a statement on its X page on Wednesday. Items recovered from the suspects include 4 exotic cars, laptops, and phones. The anti-graft agency added that the suspects will be charged to court as soon as investigations are completed. Court of Appeal sitting in Enugu on Wednesday upheld the ruling of the House of Representatives Tribunal that sacked the member representing the Boise North Udenu Federal Constituency, Honorable Simon Atigwe. The appellant court rather returned the candidate of the Labour Party LP, Honorable Dennis Nnamdi Abo, who was declared winner in the February 25, 2023 national election and sworn in but was sacked for a rerun election that took place on February 3, 2024. The People's Democratic Party candidate Atigwe was subsequently sworn in as winner of the 2024 election, but Abo's petition to the second election tribunal filed against Atigwe was on Wednesday consolidated by the appeal court and sent Atigwe packing from the House of Representatives. The appeal court, in delivering the judgment, said the Atigwe of the PDP wasn't duly elected by the valid votes cast in the rerun election and declared Dennis Abo of the Labour Party as the rightful winner of the election. In their ruling on Wednesday, the tribunal headed by Justice H.N. Kunaza said that the petition had merit and declared Honorable Dennis Nnamdi Abo the actual winner of Igbo Eze Ndenu Federal Constituency. In Abia State, the House of Assembly has passed a resolution calling on the state government to, as a matter of urgency, set out to the Nigerian government and also through its relevant agencies intervene on the issue of erosion, gullies ravaging various sections of the state. The Speaker, Emmanuel Emeriwa, announced this during plenary following a matter of urgent public importance brought before the House by the member representing Isukwato constituency, Lucky Johnson, about the collapse of the Akara-Isukwato Road and destruction of properties around the Amayi axis. Johnson begged the government to come to his constituents and aid in terms of intervention from NewMap, the Ministry of Environment and others, as well as remediation and palliative support, as their means of livelihood has also been greatly affected. They also passed a resolution directing this Committee on Health to invite the Commission of Health, the proprietor of Citygate Mortuary, Umahia, and any other such mortuary whose activities are considered to be negatively affecting the public to appear before the House for an interaction. This followed a matter of urgent public importance presented to the House by the member representing Isialangwa North Constituency, Ugochukwu Ihenukem, on the alleged nuisance being constituted on daily basis along the Aba Road of Umuahia. Manager of a ferry that capsized on Monday in Lagos State has been arrested for alleged negligence and failure to comply with safety regulations. The Lagos area manager of the National Inland Waterways Authority, Mrs. Serat Brahma, disclosed this in a statement in Lagos. She said that the arrest was effected as a result of findings from a detailed investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. According to her, the ferry manager must produce the captain of the boat, stressing that it had been established that the fiber boat veered off its channels and collided with a wooden boat due to the obstructed vision of the captain. Brahma said that the obstruction was largely due to loads on the fiber boat, stating that the boat owned by Only God Ferry failed to adhere to operational safety standards and proper navigation procedures. In Ekiti State, Ametokun Corps has arrested 3 teenagers whose names were given as Adekun, who lives at Kota in Omo, Ekiti, a 17-year-old Babatunde Jaffet residing in Omo, Ekiti, and a 16-year-old Sunday Taiwo, also a resident of Mo Ekiti, for burglary and theft. In a press release signed by the head of Communications Department of Ametokun Corps Command in Ekiti State, Officer Adeleye Abiodun Adewale, he revealed that the teenagers broke into some shops belonging to an Igbo resident in Omo, Ekiti, where they carted away some items in the process. Adeleye narrated how luck ran out on them as they were caught red-handed while perpetrating their nefarious act. At the time, the Ametokun operatives of the Ekiti East local government area were patrolling the area. He said some exhibits were recovered from them. The 3 suspects, along with the exhibits recovered from them, have since been handed over to Omo Ekiti Police Division for further investigations. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Torid Labaja has ordered a probe into alleged administrative discrepancies at 3 Brigade in Kano. General Labaja also ordered the suspension of the Brigadier General M.A. Sadiq to ensure a thorough investigation. The probe was launched after reports of administrative discrepancies within the Army Brigade surfaced on social media. Army spokesperson Major General Onyema Nwachukwu announced this in a statement on Wednesday, October 9th. According to General Nwachukwu, the Army, being a self-regulatory institution founded on the bedrock of discipline, justice, and accountability, has zero tolerance for indiscipline and will not therefore condone any form of misconduct or illicit actions and inactions that could undermine the threshold of its values and principles. The spokesman assured the public that the allegations would be thoroughly investigated and appropriate administrative actions will be taken. Away from that, Minister of FCT Barrister Nyeso Wike on 8th October 2024 received the delegation of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, led by its Managing Director, Mr. Benga Alade, who visited to pay homage to the Minister of the FCT. Wike, while in his address, congratulated the MD and his team on their appointment by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to manage AMCON and urged them to remain focused in the discharge of their duties.
Given the assets you're talking about, some of their assets are subject to litigation. And I remember recently, if I were invited the Director of Lands, I got a letter from AMCON about a property that we revoked. And you are saying that that asset, you took it over and it's that's the mistake we make. If the asset you took and the person who owned the asset before you took the asset did not fulfill the conditions of the CFO, we have the right to revoke. And that not only that we are revoking the property asset, AMCON has taken over. We're all government. We can sit down and sort out problems. Every government agency has to work together. In this country, so many people take loan, and without even applying the loan to what they're supposed to do, they just use it for anything. They say that, well, we're there, after all, tomorrow nobody knows what will happen, they will write it off, all those kind of things. So you require tough management, you require tough leadership to say, no, enough is enough, we can't.
He said President Tinubu has identified competent individuals to change the country's narratives and expressed confidence that the MD and his team had what it takes to bring about positive changes, pledging his full support to AMCON.
The office you're occupying is not an easy office. It's an office that comes with a lot of challenges. It's an office that requires blackmail. It's an office that you hear all kinds of things. By the time you don't do their deeds, sponsorship or blackmail, let us scrap AMCON, there are no need for AMCON to exist, all those things are there. But Mr. President believes in you, he thinks you can make a difference. For me, every opportunity you have, say that while I was there, this was my own contribution. It's very, very key. This country must succeed. And when you have a leadership that is focused, of course it comes with challenges. It comes with a lot of things. People will want to distract you. People want to say all kinds of things to make you lose focus and interest. But if you believe in this country, like I know Mr. President believes, that's why for him to identify people who can handle this and make it look like we're serious, we're willing to change the narrative. And I believe you have what it takes. So it's an opportunity that you have. So don't say that, oh, because of this and that. You are born there because there are challenges. If there are no challenges, nobody will happen to you.
Yes.
So there are challenges for you to solve. We're here to give support, whichever way you want us to support you. We're here. And That's why again the General Council is there with like our own attorney general. If there are any issue you think that FCTA should come with support, do not hesitate.
Earlier in his remark, the MD Amcon Benga Alade said the agency was created by the federal government in 2010 to stabilize the banking industry, which was shaky and struggling with a large stock of bad loans, and to take over the bad loans from the banks, administer the loans and all the assets underlying them and managing them.
We thought it is very, very important for us to come and pay homage to you as the Minister of, Federal Capital Territory. I won't bore you with stories, but AMCON was created in 2010 to stabilize the banking industry when the banking industry was shaky because of the large stock of bad loans in the banks, and they were struggling with these bad loans. Then the federal government created AMCON and funded AMCON to take over these bad loans from the banks and therefore administer the loans. We also, took over all the assets underlying these loans as well. We were managing it on behalf of the federal government. In other words, all the assets that AMCON has today, they are not AMCON assets per se. They are the assets, they are national assets of the federal government by virtue of the fact that they funded it, they provided the money to buy those toxic assets from the banks. Honorable Minister, AMCON has existed for 14 years now, and yet we have a lot of powerful, influential debtors who have refused to pay. And some of them, we have their assets that we can either sell or manage to ensure that those loans are paid back. These assets cut across all sectors of the economy. We have oil and gas assets, we have aviation assets, we have telecom assets, we have power, electricity assets. We believe that those four categories are very, very instrumental to the economy of Nigeria.
Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Yesum Wike, has received the Nigerian Military Sports Organizing Committee in courtesy visit led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, seeking for his support and asking him to be the ground host of second edition of African Military Games in Abuja, Nigeria, coming up in November 2024. Wike, who warmly received military games team assuring the support of FCTA, said it is a welcome idea to host African military games in Nigeria. Hence, it will showcase the capital city called Abuja with economic benefits. Our Abuja correspondent Joseph Moses Muyiwinka reports.
As Nigeria prepared to host African military games for first time in November 2024, with 44 African countries competing for medals in 19 games, it is a viable platform which is said to enhance peace and security, demonstrating to the rest of the world that Nigeria is a safe place. In a courtesy visit to the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Yesum Wike, who received the delegation of Nigeria Military Sports Organizing Team led by the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Christopher Musa, seeks the support of the FCT Minister in respect of the upcoming military games. Wike assured military games team of his support in notion that the games would promote international diplomacy, military cooperation and investment opportunity in FCT and Nigeria at large.
Let me also thank you for the opportunity to showcase Nigeria, to showcase the Federal Capital Territory. This African Military Games that is coming up in November in Abuja will also showcase the city called Abuja, where over 40 countries will be participating it is a welcome development. One, the economic activities. Two, it will also show that Nigeria is safe, Abuja is safe. Come and see a city. Sometimes, like you said, people have impression from outside without even having a first-hand information. So I believe that when they come here, they will go back home with a different narrative. On our own part, we have no choice but to give you the necessary support, because it is our city that is going to host this international game. So we want to assure you we will fully participate and give you all the necessary support so that it will be a successful event. Whatever you think we can do not hesitate to tell us quickly. Yes, bureaucracy, but when we start on time, we'll be able to achieve what we want to achieve.
The Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Christopher Musa, who earlier in his address appreciated the effort of FCT Minister in making sure that Abuja meets international standards in all endeavors, further highlights the benefits of hosting African Military Games in Abuja as the capital city of Nigeria.
Sir, we're here once again, firstly to just say thank you. Thank you for putting back life into FCT. 1 year plus, things have really turned around for good at the FCT. I want to commend you. We're here for one thing. The most important aspect of it is the African Military Games that is coming up in November. This is the second edition. Nigeria is the second country that is hosting such a grand event. It is to showcase Nigeria in great light to the world, not only in Africa, but to the entire world, that Abuja is safe, Nigeria is safe. Most people, when you travel out, the impression they give of Nigeria is that Nigeria is very hostile, it's a hostile environment. That when you come in, there's a lot of killings and all this. When you notice that Nigeria is more secure than most of these countries that also talk. Here the press enjoys so much freedom, so everything is being reported, and that's why people think that it's not safe. But we all know that Nigeria is safe. Abuja is one of the safest places that anybody will ever live. We want to thank you for that, sir. We're expecting over 40 countries so far that are coming with their armed forces to come here for a period of 1 week. Some might be coming earlier, and so we said we should come because, sir, you are the grand host, because you are the landlord. We're going to leverage on you, sir, for a very, very successful and hitch-free.
Joseph Moses Mawinka, Atlantic Television Network News, Abuja.
Northeast Development Commission has announced plans to launch a fleet of solar-powered vehicles, including a 9-seater tricycle, a 4-seater taxi, and a 40-seater bus to improve interstate transportation across the region. Speaking in Maiduguri on Wednesday during a meeting with the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers and the National Association of Transport Owners, the NEC General Manager Mohammed Goni revealed that the initiative aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision for the transportation sector. He said the Commission has sought the approval of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and he has granted the go-ahead. He added that the Commission is exploring solar energy to power the vehicles, capitalizing on the abundant sunlight in the region. He stated that fully charged buses can travel up to 300 kilometers and announced plans to organize training sessions for drivers and NEC staff to ensure smooth operations. Goni assured that the initiative reflects the NEC's commitment to bringing relief to the transportation sector in the Northeast, urging the unions to prioritize effective management system. Away from that, Controller General of Customs Adewale Adeniyi has declared a total war on smugglers, labeling them as enemies of Nigeria's development. Adeniyi made this declaration on Wednesday in Yola during an update on the activities of Operation Whirlwind, a strategic initiative aimed at curbing fuel smuggling across Nigeria's borders. Represented by the Deputy Controller General of Enforcement, Investigations and Inspections, Olaniyi Olajogun, the CJ disclosed that 2 filling stations in Adamawa Oil-Powered Global Services Limited, located opposite Yola International Airport, and Gawi Oil Nigeria Limited along Newman Road had been fined by a court for their involvement in smuggling activities. The seized premium motor spirit was auctioned to the public at 630 naira per litre. The CG further revealed that the anti-smuggling operation had yielded substantial seizures since its inception. He highlighted recent seizures including 2 trucks each loaded with 33,000 litres of PMS, 1,046 jerrycans of 25 litres capacity, and 12 drums of 200 litres capacity filled with PMS, all intended for smuggling. In total, 94,550 litres of PMLs, valued at 75.45 million, were seized during this latest phase of the operation. One suspect was arrested in connection with smuggling activities in Adamawa and is currently in protective custody in Abuja. You are watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Dr. Zainab Shinkafi Bagudu on her election as President of the Union for International Cancer Control, making her the first African and 5th woman to lead the Global Cancer Control Organization. Shinkafi Bagudu, a pediatrician and former First Lady of Kebbi State, was elected on October 8th. Tinubu, in a statement by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Wednesday, described her election as a significant achievement, praising her competence and character. He noted that her victory highlights Nigeria's growing influence in global health leadership and serves as a testament to the wealth of talents within the country. The President expressed confidence in Shinkafi Bagudu's ability to leverage her new role to improve cancer control and global health. Federal government is poised to launch a new education curriculum for primary schools on Thursday, aimed at transforming the basic education system in Nigeria. The revised curriculum, infused with moral values, seeks to address societal reorientation and regenerate Nigeria's social values, according to the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Tanko Sununu. Speaking in Abuja on Wednesday during the flag-off of teacher training and the launch of sensitization materials on moral reorientation organized by the Universal Basic Education Commission, Dr. Sununu emphasized that the updated curriculum will equip learners not only with academic skills, but also with ethical framework necessary to make positive contributions to the society. The minister explained that the new approach aims to engage students in discussions about values and ethics, moving beyond traditional teaching methods. He added that the federal government is committed to continuous investment in teacher development to ensure that educators are equipped with the necessary tools to meet the evolving needs of students. Nigerian Senate has mandated immediate compliance with the Supreme Court's ruling on local government funding. The resolution was reached on the floor of the Senate on Wednesday after a debate on a motion by lawmaker representing Anambra North, Tony Wonye. In his lead debate, Senator Wonye raised concerns about governors trying to enact laws to control local government funds illegally. Across sections of lawmakers, including Senators Osita Izunaso and Adamu Elero, underscored the urgency for adherence to judicial mandates to enhance transparency and accountability in local governance.
To prevent and stop implementation of action of state governments using their state house of assemblies to enact laws that breach constitutional provisions, as well as Supreme Court judgment of 11th of July 2024 that granted financial autonomy to our local governments in line with the provisions of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. This motion, as I said earlier, is being sponsored by my humble self and more than 10 senators of Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Senate, being aware that the Section 7 of our 1999 Constitution as amended, guaranteed the system of democratically elected local government system, by which the council, local government council, explicitly provides for them in the Constitution for their financial autonomy, both financial and administrative. Further aware that the Supreme Court of Nigeria on July 11th, being Thursday 2025, delivered a landmark judgment wherein they ruled that all funds due to local governments in Nigeria, 774 local governments for that matter, from the federation account must be paid directly into the accounts of local government and no longer through state and local government joint accounts.
By urging the Senate that if there is nothing this 10th Senate will achieve, it is this local government autonomy. I recalled in Kano 2 weeks ago when we had the retreat on constitutional review led by the Deputy Senate President. This issue of local government autonomy was one of the major issues that we discussed. Mr. President, in supporting this motion, I would like to recall that there is urgent need to amend Section 7 of 1999 Constitution as amended to further guarantee the autonomy of local government. This Constitution says that local government is the third tier of government. We have 3 tiers of government in Nigeria: the federal, the state, and local government. So local government should be allowed to exercise the responsibility of a third tier of government.
In his ruling, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, assured that the National Assembly would take immediate steps to alter sections of the Constitution to give full autonomy to local government administration in the country.
The Nigerian Senate stands solidly behind the Supreme Court decision on its efforts through judicial pronouncement to sanitize the administration of local governments in the country and stop further abuse of local government funds. So we stand solidly behind the Supreme Court of Nigeria. We believe strongly that if there is any legacy that this administration will leave behind, including the 10th Senate, it is a legacy of sanitizing the local governments, ensuring that local government funds are well utilized for the benefit of the rural people, and at the same time local governments are allowed to function and function well. That will also in due course include their elections.
The Nigerian Senate is accusing state governments of using their state houses of assembly to enact laws that breach constitutional provisions and the Supreme Court judgment on granting financial autonomy to local governments in line with the provision of the Constitution. Away from that, House of Representatives has mandated its committee constitutional review to permanently address the delay in justice delivery in the country. This, the House said, was in a bid to restore the confidence of the common man in the judiciary and report back within 4 weeks in further legislative actions. These resolutions follow the adoption of a motion titled "The Need to Review Nigeria's Justice and Judicial System to Restore Public Trust in the Judiciary and Address the Delay in the Providing Justice." Sponsored by Honorable Ganiyu Adele Ayuba, the House noted that the judiciary is a branch of government constitutionally saddled with the responsibility of prompt dispensation of justice and interpreting the laws made by the legislature. House of Representatives on Wednesday urged the federal government to swiftly implement the Exports Prohibition Act 2004 to tackle the pressing issues of food smuggling and insecurity in Nigeria. During a plenary session on Wednesday, the House also urged the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to provide additional incentives for farmers to boost agricultural inputs across the country. The resolutions of the lower legislative chamber followed the adoption of a motion on the need to curb the Export Prohibition Act to tackle insecurity in Nigeria, sponsored by the member representing Ilorin West Asap Federal Constituency, Kwara State, Mukhtar Shaigaya. The lawmaker noted that despite its vast arable land, Nigeria is currently experiencing high levels of food insecurity, food inflation, and food shortages. Following the adoption of the motion, the Committees on Agricultural Protection and Services, Legislative Compliance, Customs, Commerce, and Industry were mandated to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Analysts have described the Economic and Financial Crime Commission as underperforming. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, public affairs analyst Pastor Greatman Badam said that if the EFCC is performing as expected, there will be less or no issue of corruption in the country.
Crime and all of those others. EFCC is functioning under a lot of influence. Somebody leaves office today, goes after the person. I won't call any names, I won't call any political party names. The person comes to another political party. EFCC takes off the case.
Mr. Badam further explained that the EFCC would have performed better if they had maintained integrity and no compromise. It comes after the Supreme Court on Tuesday fixed October the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and 2 others. Peter Obi of the Labour Party has reacted to the Federal High Court's ruling, which affirmed Barrister Julius Abure as the authentic national chairman of the party. Obi stated that he had met with Governor Alex Oti of Abia State, along with the caretaker chairman and secretary of the Labour Party. ATM reported that the court declared the 2024 Labour Party National Convention held in Nnewi, which re-elected Abure, valid, stating that the convention was in line with all laid down laws in Nigeria. However, reacting on Wednesday to the matter, Obi, in a post on his X handle, said the goal is to emerge stronger and more unified, standing together as one united front. The former Anambra State Governor urged all members of the Labour Party to remain calm and patient as they continue to engage in discussions and consultations. National Human Rights Commission has expressed concern after available data indicated that deaths from road accidents surpassed killings by gunmen across Nigeria in September 2024. Data from the September 2024 Human Rights Dashboard unveiled by the NHRC in Abuja disclosed that road accidents claimed 191 lives in September 2024, while 141 persons died in attacks by gunmen, including bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, and other criminals during the month. In addition to the 191 persons that died in road accidents in September, 69 others sustained varying degrees of injuries. Executive Secretary of the NHRC, Dr. Tony Ojukwu, in an address at the unveiling of the September 2024 Human Rights Dashboard, noted that loss of lives in road accidents undermines the enjoyment of human rights for many families. Now, business news. Federal government has launched an application portal for Nigerians willing to convert their vehicles from the use of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, to compressed natural gas. This was contained in a statement on Wednesday by the National Orientation Agency titled Payment Plan to Make It Easier to Switch to CNG. According to the statement, Nigerians who wish to make the switch to CNG could apply on the portal and spread payment in monthly installments. The statement also highlighted flexible payment plans, noting that applicants will receive support through the process to ensure it is hassle-free. The NOA urged interested persons to visit the website gocng.ng to make the applications. Transportation costs are set to skyrocket in the Federal Capital Territory following the hike in the price of petrol by some stations of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Abuja on Wednesday. The station of the National Oil Company have raised the retail price of petrol to 1,030 naira from 897 naira per litre, newsmen observed across multiple NNPCL stations in the FCT. The new price, the second increase in 1 month, represents a 14.8% or 133 naira rise. At the NNPCL mega station located in Central area, a customer who spoke to newsmen said the product was sold at 1,030 naira. The station did not display its prices on either the signboard or the pump meter, leaving customers unaware of the cost of fuel. Instead, the only information they received was through verbal communications from the fuel attendants. However, checks by newsmen at Independent Marketers Association, including Corn Oil and Total Energies opposite the NNPCL headquarters, showed that product was sold at 926 naira, but with long queues. Up next, international tidbits. Kenyan MPs have voted overwhelming in favor of removing the country's deputy president over accusation of corruption. Lawmakers also accuse Rigathi Gachagua of practicing unethical, divisive politics and undermining the government. Gachagua denies any wrongdoing in a role that follows his recent fallout with President William Ruto. On Tuesday evening, Speaker Moses Wetangula announced that 281 MPs had adopted an 11-charge impeachment motion, with 44 MPs voting against and 1 abstaining. It means Gachagua has become the first Kenyan deputy president to be impeached by the National Assembly. The country Senate will decide if he gets ousted. He is accused of acquiring properties through corrupt means. The vice president, who is a wealthy businessman, said most of the houses and land belong to his late brother's estate. The 59-year-old politician, popularly known as Riggy G, has ascribed allegations against him as outrageous and sheer propaganda. Turkish Airlines jet line headed from Seattle to Istanbul made an emergency landing in New York on Wednesday after the captain died on board. An airline official said pilot Liching Pehilan, 59, lost consciousness at some point after flight 204 took off from Seattle on Tuesday night. Turkish Airlines spokesperson Yaha Utsen said in a statement. Utsen said medical intervention failed to revive the captain and the co-pilot decided to make an emergency landing, but the captain died before the plane landed. Data from the tracking site FlightAware shows that the Airbus A350 landed at John F. Kennedy International Airport just before 6 a.m. Arrangements were being made for passengers to reach their destination from New York. The airline spokesperson said Pelivan had worked at Turkish Airlines since 2007, Austin said. A routine health check in March showed no health problems that would have prevented him from working, he said. House of Representatives was dissolved at a plenary session on Wednesday afternoon, setting the stage for a lower house election that will officially kick off on Tuesday and voting on October 27th. The government will officially decide on the schedule for the 50th lower house election at the extraordinary cabinet meeting later in the day. Israeli army intensified shelling of northern Gaza and closed roads, preventing the delivery of aid, the war-torn Palestinian Territory Civil Defense Agency said Wednesday. The army, which said it surrounded Jabalia in northern Gaza at the weekend, issued new evacuation demands on Tuesdays as analysts suggested Hamas was regrouping despite a year of strikes and fierce fighting. Ahmad Al-Khalut, the agency's director in North Gaza, said the shelling is intensifying, targeting civilians and their homes, causing significant fear and terror among the residents. The director said the Israeli army also was targeting the northern towns of Beit Leha and Beit Hanun, along with Jabalia. Khalut said roads have been closed and there has been a continuous siege for the 4th consecutive day, with no supplies entering the North Gaza governorate. The Palestinian Red Crescent said its teams had transported 3 dead and 15 injured from the El Rafah school in Jabalia, where displaced Gazans had sought shelter. The civil defense, Khalut said his agency had been receiving calls for help from various parts of northern Gaza, but staff had been unable to enter these areas for security reasons. Here now is ATN Sports News. Flying Eagles forward Charles Agada has linked up with Sky Bet Championship side Watford. Agada will join the Hornets when the transfer window reopens in January. The Marblon FC player was previously linked with clubs in Spain and Switzerland. The striker was part of the Flying Eagles side at last year's 2022 African Under-20 Cup of Nations in Egypt. Agada is currently in the Flying Eagles training camp ahead of Wafubi U20 AFCON in Togo. Former Flying Eagles midfielder Tom Dele Bashiru is currently in the books of Watford. Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson Becker is expected to be sidelined for around 6 weeks due to a hamstring injury, ruling him out of key matches against Chelsea and Arsenal. The 32-year-old Brazilian international sustained the injury during last weekend's 1-0 victory over Crystal Palace and was substituted late in the second half. Reports in the British press suggest tests have confirmed that Alisson is unlikely to return until after next month's international break. This would mean his earliest potential comeback would be Liverpool's away fixtures against Southampton on 24th November. And now entertainment news. Famous Nigerian songstress Oyikashola Aderibibi, popularly known as Ayo Star, has bagged 4 nominations for the 2024 MTV Europe Music Awards. The organizers released the nominees list on Wednesday. Ayo Star was nominated in the Best African Art, Best Push, Best Afrobeat, and Best New Artist categories. Other Nigerian musicians nominated for Best Afrobeat awards are Thames, Burna Boy, Ashake, and Rema. Also, South Africans Tyler bagged 4 categories including Best New, Best Afrobeat, Best African Art, and Best R&B. American singer Taylor Swift bagged the most nominations in 7 categories. The 30th edition of the award show will take place on Sunday, November 10th, 2024 at Manchester's Co-op Live in UK. Group called Fashion Experience is calling on business owners, fashion lovers, vendors and their likes to be part of a forthcoming event called Fashion Experience Festival and Women Entrepreneurship Summit slated to hold on the 26th and 27th of October 2024. While addressing the press in Port Harcourt, Group Communication Director Obi Ivy stated on the significance of the event. She also stressed on the need for more sponsors for the event to help encourage businesses, especially run by women on business intellectuals, amongst other activities.
The idea is for small businesses that are run by women would be assisted with grants to boost their businesses. But the idea is we'll bring them together, resource persons will be invited, I'll speak with them. You know, of course we're going to discuss some of the challenges that women in business are facing. We're going to also share success stories. You know, these women are going to be inspired by the success stories of these resource persons that we're inviting for the event. Afterwards, we will give grants to these women because we believe that if you empower a woman, you empower a nation. If you empower a man, you empower one person, most likely. At the most, you empower his immediate family. So first off, partnership opportunities are open to anyone in the fashion industry, anybody who is fashion inclined. Whether you have a business that caters to a fashion need, you can partner with us, you know, to bring this event and make it successful. If you're someone who is a fashion lover as well and you have what it takes, you can also partner with us. Those in the textile business, of course, this is an opportunity for you to meet your customers and then increase your client base. We're hoping that people would meet 6 months to 1 year worth of clientele or patronage. We're hoping that in that one weekend, they would be able to get such value, you know. So it's a one-stop place. Beverages, you know, people, I mean, the business opportunity is a lot. For those who are just fashion designers who make ready-to-wear, this is an opportunity for you as well. Even if you're into children's wear, this is a great platform. You know, we're approaching the Yuletide, where parents are looking for clothes for their children for the Christmas, even for adults as well. This is another very incredible opportunity for them to be a part of the Fashion Experience Festival. And so as someone who's looking to increase their business, this is an opportunity for you to tap into all that we have to offer in terms of publicity, goodwill as well for yourselves.
Other speakers, including Boma Ogidiben, founding director, Asrefien Osu, the exhibition director, amongst others, took turn to speak on the forthcoming event.
So in fashion experience, we are bringing the international fashion culture, where we would have designers enjoy the show.
What we plan to do is to have special people items and keep them in the same place. So for example, if we have people that are selling buttons, that is clothes buttons, we have them in one area. So when you go to your normal supermarkets, that you have places listed, this is provision. So when you see that, you see buttons, those are where you have buttons, they know what they are selling there. So if you come there and you're sourcing for buttons, you just
Away from that, Nigerian singer Sidney Esiri, aka Dr. Sid, has confirmed he has relocated to the United States of America. Appearing on a podcast, the Over the Moon hitmaker disclosed that he left Nigeria after he got a job in the US. Dr. Sid gained prominence in 2002 when he was made a member of the tribe and given a spot on the hip-hop hit Oya alongside Sasha, Too Short, Timmy, Dale and the tribesmen LD, KB and Freestyle. A year later, he released his debut solo song, Don't Stop. Controversial media personality Darlington Okoye, aka Speed Darlington, has been released on bail from police custody. Darlington was released after meeting his bail conditions on Tuesday. This was disclosed by human rights lawyer Deji Adeyanju via his X page. Adeyanju said Darlington was arrested in Lagos last Friday and then transferred to Abuja, where he was detained following a formal complaint filed by Burna Boy. Burna Boy accused Darlington of defaming and cyber-stalking him. In a viral video, Darlington had asked Burna Boy to explain how he won the Grammy Award for his album Twice as Tall, taunting his affiliation with the embattled US rapper Sean Diddy Combs, who is facing multiple charges for sexual exploitation and human trafficking. Multiple award-winning artist David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has marked the first birthday of his twin children with his wife, Choma. Davido shared the news in a post on X.com on Wednesday, writing, +1 Alhamdulillah, accompanied by 2 baby emojis. His post has since gathered thousands of congratulatory messages from fans and well-wishers. Recall that in October 2023, Davido confirmed the arrival of his twins, a boy and a girl, with Choma in the United States. He stated that he and his wife were in shock when they discovered they were expecting twins. A viral video subsequently emerged showing Choma sitting in a wheelchair and cradling the 2 babies, with Davido beaming with joy beside her. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. We told you police begins probe of arson killings. We also told you INEC denies obstructive beavers inspection. Tinubu congratulates Dr. Shinkafu Bagudu. FG unveils fuel to CNG conversion portal. We also told you Israel ramps up Gaza shelling. Ayastar backs for MTV Emma nomination. Charles Agada joins Watford. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.